In this video, you're going to see how I'm developing the full workflow of research and building new algorithms, new trading strategies. In this case, I built this workflow that is called Alpha. This is my folder Strategy Factory, where I can develop a full working strategy, new logics or new idea, and test them into different asset classes. I can test this idea on real data because it's the same data I'm trading on. And also you should confront each type of backtest, like in this scenario here, you should test this on different data because this is the EURUSD chart over 6-7 years. Okay, in this case, this is the performance. It went really good, but of course 2 years, maybe 2.5 years, almost 3 of drawdown. It's not great, but that's the first step. Okay, this is the full quant research engine. I'm using this tool to achieve what once I was achieving like in 10 to 15 hours. Now I can have the same output maybe in 30 minutes. Yeah, it's really helpful. In this case, this is like just an example. I decide to search alpha on EURUSD. I decide which dataset, the main logics idea, and I have a section for that. And then the workflow is built with different engine that works all together. So the first one is giving you the daily returns, hourly returns, and different pattern of the price of the dataset. In this case, it's like hour distribution, daily distribution, and then intraday volumes, and then we have like weekday per hour heat map. Okay, so it says on the broker hours, but on which day for which hour is the price moving the most, in this case for euro dollar. And then you have the autocorrelation, and then we have the full strategy construction. So it's like just testing if those ideas are working. Okay, in this case, this is like very basic logics. Okay, after this is taking the survivor, of course. So it's like the only strategy that worked and have like certain parameters that I decide. So it's like more than 300 trades, a profit factor more than 1. And in this case, this is like the first and probably the best performer over this period of time. And of course, it's not taking all of the dataset, but it's like splitting the dataset in two. So of course, in sample and out of sample. So it's giving me all of these data based on in sample, and should be, I think it should be like until 2024. This is in sample and this is out of sample. In the next report, you're going to see even better the in sample and out of sample. This is the drawdown and also the monthly P&L heat map, also like the yearly performance. So basically, that was the first step. Okay, how this software is going to work, how this workflow is going to work. Basically, I have the idea. I think I can show you the structure. I have the idea where I can decide the logics. I can decide how to find alpha, or maybe like I saw a YouTube video and I decide to build an algorithm on that. Okay, I should first test the strategy. If there is alpha without optimization, I need to see if this strategy is working or is not. This tool is made for that. Previously, I was coding my algorithm in MT5 and then test once and then multiple times. Now I can, with one prompt, I decide on which asset I want to test it and on what type of logics. In this case, is building everything in Python first because it's way faster than MT5. So that's the first step. Then when I found the best performer is like this strategy here that has some criteria, I can then decide to do optimization and design. This is genetic optimization, and as you can see on this report here, I decide to test, of course that was EURUSD, but I decide to test this type of logic on different asset class. In this case, we have EURUSD, gold, and then we have Brent, oil, and then we have USDJPY. So as you can see, it's not just testing, but it's also optimizing everything. Of course, optimizing only on the in sample, never optimize for the full dataset. As you can see, this is the optimized equity line. Okay, it seems really good because it optimized until 2024, and that was way better than the previous one, as you can see here. Okay, that was the raw logic, okay, with no optimization. This is with optimization. Okay, it's way better. In this case is in sample, out of sample, and as you can see on the gray line here, that's the EURUSD equity line. Okay, so of course, as you can see in these strategies like long and short, because like this strategy is long only, even when the price dropped many percentage point, the strategy still managed to make money. That seemed solid. This the drawdown analysis, the maximum drawdown was bigger in sample, and out of sample it was a little bit lower. We optimized these logics on different time frame. Mostly the best performer were on the H1, but on Brent it was 2 hour. And then we have ATR TPSL. This is the max holding bar, and then we have different criteria. So in this case, side. In this case, it means that you on USDJPY is taking also short. Okay, so all of them have more than 300 trades, so that's still good. And then we have the Sharpe ratio. So in this case, on gold was really good, but of course, because gold, it did an insane performance from 2024 till now. So this in this case was the second rank, still really good. And then we have in this case gold. Okay, so as you can see, the performance on gold, it's really good, and even better in the auto sample, but of course it means nothing because the gold price, as you can see from 2024 till now, it almost overperformed the strategy by itself. Okay, you should consider the performance not only in the out of sample, because it's going to be really good, because that's long only when the price did maybe 150% or 200%. So of course it's good, but you should also consider the in sample, because the price here did a little percentage, but still the strategy managed to make a lot of money. That's the main thing now. In this case, this is like different parameters, still good. And in this case, it's taking both sides. So it's taking long and short trades, okay? And still it managed to make a lot of money. In this case, also the auto sample is really good. We can also consider all of the metrics. So auto sample 400 trades, the in sample profit factor was good, and also in the out of sample really good, but of course because it makes a lot of gain, this asset. Win rate the same, expected by even better, of course. Drawdown is good, and also the max drawdown in USD. This is a particular case because of the performance that made XAUUSD gold in the same period of time. This workflow, it did this type of optimization and test and build this type of metrics and output equity curve for each asset I decide. Okay, I think for me now, one of the most powerful tool that I'm having, because it's kind of insane for me to have this type of output in 30 minutes or something. I think it took me 50 minutes. And now I can test something, like test a new idea, test a new logic or something else. It's taking me 15 minutes for the first part, so it's like the alpha research. In this time, I'm deciding type of research papers I wanna take in or analyze. Then I write the logic, and maybe I'm writing different type of logics. Then I let the AI agent start and the workflow begin. So it's testing, configuration, loading the data. Since everything is already done, the AI agent starts here and then is giving me the HTML report in the end. It's like MT5 style because I decide that. As you can see, it's running walk forward after the in sample. Is a really good workflow. Then genetic optimization, winner, and MT5 style report with the HTML. Basically, this entire workflow is taking 15 minutes and is giving me this first report. I think if I want to test the first alpha research for multiple asset class, it's not taking me like hours, but still 30 minutes for 10 asset class. And it's giving me this type of report for 10 different asset class. Then I can run the second engine. The second engine is like the genetic and multi-asset class report. One important thing here, one of the main criteria is that every position should be open and closed in the and or the beginning of the 1 minute open high low close dataset, because like it's really hard to build something that work if you want to test it candle, if you want to have this equity line also on the MT5 report with the MQ5 algorithm. You should build something in Python that can mimic 99% the MQ5 style algorithm. So you should have very simple logics. Every time you build something in Python and the end goal is to translate that for MQ5, you should have a very simple logic. Let's say you buy on the first minute of 1 hour time frame and you close at the end. That's simple. You can mimic that from Python to MQ5. Of course, it's not going to be the same, but I think it's going to be 95 to 99% the same. You'll have the spread and some other slippage, other hidden cost. The simple it is, the easiest is going to be for you to translate something from Python to MT5. This is USDJPY and it's really good. In this case, it's long only. It didn't perform that well in the auto sample, but you have to understand that in the in sample, it performed really well, but you have to check of the asset class. In this case, the asset did really well, okay? So you have to understand that you cannot be delusional to think that this algorithm here is going to perform really well if the market crash, okay? In this case, it did not crash, okay? Still, it made gain. It made a good gain, okay? And also the algorithm made gain. To me, it doesn't make sense to have something that is long only if the price could easily drop, okay? It's not like an index that overall should go up all the time forever. So I think in this case, we have short only. It performed really well. So what I could do in this case is considering both, okay? So long side plus short side and build a long short portfolio. So it's like an algorithm. Maybe they have different parameters, but that's something I could easily do. Okay, so build a long short algorithm. So yeah, basically that's it. Really happy that I managed to finish this entire workflow, and I think that's an institutional level workflow. Of course, like this is like just the beginning, is really simple, but still now I can easily decide a logic, idea, type of a way to generate alpha and test it in 1 hour. I could easily have a report like this one in 1 hour. The idea tested on multiple asset class, on multiple time frame. This is tested on many asset class, many time frame, with all of those parameters optimized in under 1 hour. To me, I think it's insane, okay? Because I built the whole engine, okay? And now after I built the whole engine, I'm letting the AI agent, in this case is Cloud Code, but I also use Codex. I let the AI agent work for me. I have to run other engine and they are going to translate the Python logic to MQ5, okay? So I think right now I shift from making 300-400 click on the mouse on my computer to reach something like this, because I had to decide the logics, code the entire algorithm, and then optimize the algorithm. As you can see, guys, this is MQ5 strategy tester. This is the optimize. Wait, yeah, if I'm deciding here, I could run a genetic algorithm, okay? And you can see that this is all of the input I can decide to turn on, to test, okay? You can see I'm clicking times and then I have to decide which step I should do. So I can say 8 and here 2, or wait, 2, okay? And then I can decide don't trade on weekends, exit on the end of the day, and then test different hours. So it was taking me at least like 500 clicks and multiple hours to build something basic, okay? Now I'm going to show you a quick backtest. And now the same thing, okay? So in this case, we have the same graph. And then in this case, this is the report, okay? In this case, I already built the algorithm. So of course it did the backtest in 10 clicks and 15 seconds, okay? But the thing is to optimize this and also to build the logics and test it on multiple asset class, it was taking ages. So I think for each asset to reach something like this, so optimized report, optimized parameters, I think it was taking me at least 5 hours and 300 clicks. And then you multiply that for each asset class. I think I cut the time cost, so the time I was spending on building something like this, from multiple hours, like 10 hours for completed new algorithm tested in realtix data, to right now maybe 1 hour. Okay, because I already have the MT5 algorithm of this, and I just should test it right now. I think this is a really big step for me, because I'm managing all of the money with Darnex and other prop firm, but building strategies, that's always a big thing. So it's really time consuming, but with something like this, I can easily cut by 10 or maybe even more the time spending on this. And I think I'm going to build a software out of this, because I'd like to remove all of the VS thing here and just have a chat where I can write what I want, okay? And also receiving all the output already on my PC. Now it's taking me still 10 to 20 clicks, okay? But still I receive report like this, but I'd like to simplify the process even more, okay? And also, of course, implement multiple data feed. I'd like to test some strategies on CPI or FOMC, or maybe NFP, or maybe some geopolitical news, okay? So I'm going to implement everything on this software here. At that point, it's going to be the real institutional type workflow, okay? So yeah, that's it for this video. If you like the video, you can leave it, and maybe you can ask me something on the comment section, something that you'd like to see, or you can give me advice or say something you could have done differently. That's it. See you.